Hello there, and welcome to the channel. Just to get this out of the way, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. Thank you! So, if you watch me normally, you may notice that this is not my regular video style. That's because this is the first video in a new series that I plan to make. This will be a review series. How I plan to do this is talk about the game and the gameplay style and its genres. The first one, as the title says, is about the Cult of the Lamb. I do plan to make others, such as Valorant and even games that I don't play on stream. Go check me out on twitch.tv/eelnina, by the way. Such as the Callisto Protocol. I even plan to do a review for each agent in Valorant, but that's kind of for another time. So with the explanation out of the way, let's jump in. So what is the Cult of the Lamb? Well, it's a base builder roguelike dungeon crawler. This makes for a really interesting gameplay loop. Fight in the dungeon, crawler slash roguelike section, then work on your base and keep your followers' faith up. Though simple, both of these parts do have many things to do, such as exploring the map when you're building your base in multiple different ways, um, go fishing. It's very interesting. On the dungeon crawler side, you can get different weapons, go through more rooms, best thing to call them, which they technically do call in-game as well, but that doesn't really make sense to me, but it's fine. To find upgrades of various kinds, such as tarot cards, or once you get into later levels, you will also start finding relics that are basically just abilities that you can use in the dungeon. While on the base builder side, as I mentioned, you can explore the map, go fishing, and you can also complete follower quests, hold sermons, and a lot more that I probably haven't even gotten to yet. It can be overwhelming, but they ease you into it when you first start. Now for the review part of this review. First, I would like to address the background footage. It is a new save I started because I accidentally deleted my download of the of the stream VOD. It is on an easier difficulty, so I wanted to say that my points are primarily targeted towards the normal difficulty, which I played on during stream. That's where my mind was when I was writing the script and just thinking of all of this, just to get that out of the way. How I'll start this is by listing pros and cons, and at the end, I will tell you if I personally like the game, but also if you guys should get the game. If you like certain types of games, whether you should get it or not. I do this because I honestly don't really think that a lot of games are bad in their entirety. Now, yes, there are a lot of games that are graphically bad, they just look terrible, or the story and everything is just not done properly, and like it's just a really bad game to play. Now let's start with the pros. The art style is really fun. It looks 2D, but it's built in a 3D engine, which is really interesting. It adds for a lot of visual flair. Plus, the also just actual art of everything is cutesy, but also like it's visually pleasing. It's a very nice looking game. The gameplay is coherent and challenging. Um, with this, I'm specifically talking about the dungeon crawling. When I streamed the game for the first time, it never felt too easy and felt like I was learning each time I died. Now, something I want to say before I move into cons, I would like to say that the pros and cons are fully subjective. My opinion, if you think it's the opposite, if you've personally played the game, you can say so in the comments below. This is just thoughts that I personally believe, but it doesn't necessarily ruin the game for me. But now on to the cons. I think the base builder section is a little bit too tough, though I just prefer action gameplay anyways, and the slowness of the gameplay during the base building isn't my style, but if you like it, honestly, good for you. There is also a relatively big jump in challenge from the first set of dungeons to the second set of dungeons, which felt really weird to me. It didn't feel entirely natural, and it felt like I just sort of started to die every single time I went into there and got to the boss section. The bosses just felt way harder inside of inside of area 2, but I might have also just not been I might have also just been really tired since I was playing it early in the morning. Now, who would I suggest to play this? There are many different styles that this game goes for, that it actively does. Uh, the main things that I would talk about is basically the two separate sections. So if you really like dungeon crawlers, such as The Binding of Isaac or the classic Legend of Zelda, then this could be for you. Though, if you only like those games because of the action, then it may not be entirely for you since it slows down. I know that The Legend of Zelda has its slow parts as well, so it shouldn't be too bad if you've played those games a lot. But I definitely say that if you are thinking about getting the game just because it's a dungeon crawler, then you definitely should. It's really fun. Next, if you like the game, like base buildings slash Sims, like The Sims or City Skylines, then you could give it a try. The dungeon crawler sections may be a bit of a challenge, but even with the difficulty jump, it isn't too hard. It's mostly keeping follower faith up that's hard after the jump, anyways. And yep, I do entirely enjoy the game. That's my personal opinion. It's really fun, and for any of those who watch my stream often, I 100% plan to stream it again soon. And that's that. And I would like to say that after I stream the game again, I might change my opinions on certain things. We'll just have to see. But I don't think that any change on opinions would change the suggestions that I've given to you all. If you fall into those two categories, or you generally just want to try it, just do. It's honestly really fun, and I mean, I got it for a discount, but I don't think it's too expensive for what you do get. I hope you all enjoyed. I plan to do Valorant as my next review, as it's one of my most played games, so I feel like I can speak pretty regularly on it, and it actually make a bit more sense than someone who played like 2 hours of this game. Like I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It really helps out. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.